What is going on, my fellow Outriders? Lime Tree here. Wanted to share my Technomancer build with you all. I had a few people in chat ask me about it and wanted to make this video before I went live today, displaying what skills I use, where I spend my class points, what mods I'd run, how I sort of play the class with this build. Because I've had a few people ask me and just figured this is the best way to do that. So anyways, without further ado, let's dive in. The build revolves around the skill Blighted rounds. This is your juice caboose. This is what you're gonna want. This is the skill that you're going to need. These other two skills I feel synergize really well with the build. Blighted turret being the second most important, but not nearly as close as Blighted rounds. And then cold snap, I just really like cold snap. But really, you can swap cold snap out for something else. I wouldn't suggest swapping out Blighted turret, and I'll explain why later. But you can if you want. But I wouldn't suggest it. Cold snap though, this is interchangeable. The main thing you're gonna want is Blighted rounds. Secondarily, the Blighted turret. I'll explain why later. But yeah, so Blighted rounds, what does it do? Fills your current weapons mag with decay-infused bullets that inflict toxic on enemies. Enemies within a small radius of the main target also receive toxic and 50% of the damage. The skill lasts until you reload or swap weapons. Also, I want to say that this video I'm making after they just kind of nerfed the Technomancer and the, what's that other one? The blue one. Having a brain fart. Trickster. Yep. They nerfed the Trickster and these bullets a little bit, but I gotta say, I ran with this last night, did some solos, did some team play stuff, and I'm still getting 3 stars or gold on the tier 15 expeditions. So, Blighted rounds, yay. But what you're gonna need to make Blighted rounds even better are these 3 mods. They are armor mods. We'll look at them right now. They are critical analysis. Increase crit damage by 15%. That's mod number 1 you're going to want. Mod number 2, spare mag. The skill is effective for 1 additional magazine before triggering the cooldown. Last but certainly not least, probably the best of the 3 mods, trick up the sleeve. While the skill is active, killing shots grant you 30% extra bullets in your mag. So what you can basically do is you can pretty much have Blighted rounds up constantly by shooting at bigger health targets. And then once your bullets start to get low, take out some trash mobs, in a sense, refill your Blighted rounds, and then go back to taking out the beefy targets again. That's sort of the strategy that you're going to want to use while using this build. Next, let's talk about where I put the class points. This is what the tree looks like. If you want to copy that, but I'll explain a little bit more about decisions I made along the way here. Weapon leech instead of decay skill cooldown because it's really only 15%, and honestly, getting a little bit extra health back is nice. Armor piercing, no choice there. Not taking the sniper master route because this build works really, really well with assault rifles. So that's what we're focusing on, assault rifles. Then we're going to come down here, sneak down here, grab the increase crit damage, and this guy, exposing toxin. Every time toxic is inflicted on an enemy, vulnerable status is inflicted as well, which is huge. Because Blighted rounds, you're always, using their toxic. So vulnerable status on whatever you shoot whatever you shoot toxic on, or your Blighted rounds on, is going to have vulnerable status. And then marked for execution, vulnerable afflicted on an enemy is 40% more effective. Huge. Another note on every time toxic is afflicted on an enemy. Sometimes there'll be times where your Blighted rounds aren't up because either there's not enough trash mobs to kill to refresh your mag, or there's too many big boy mobs that you need to focus on. That's where the Blighted turret, I think, is nice because you can still take advantage of having toxic on the enemy that you're shooting. And therefore it's still vulnerable. And moving up this way, instead of taking the long range, the decreasing the long range, went with the Toxologist, where the toxic effect lasts longer. This one I might play around with swapping, but I don't know. Having toxic on longer is pretty nice for your teammates. And increase your weapon damage by 8%. Again, not a choice. Don't need that skill. Blur screen. Your health regeneration threshold is increased by 20% of max health, just to help you be a little bit more tankier. Definitely notice the difference not having this versus having it. Purge. Enemies afflicted with toxic receive 10% more damage. Huge, because everything you're shooting at should be afflicted with toxic, whether by your blighted rounds or if you're using the blighted turret. Taking that instead of this skill again. BR-8 impact amplifier, again, no choice, but we are going to grab this, the Assault Master, increase our assault weapon damage. With this build, you're going to want to use any type of assault rifle that you enjoy. I really like the 3-round burst, guys. I think it's the assault rifle variant. Well, tactical variant, I believe. And then, again, increase assault weapon damage, armor piercing. We're going to grab 2 sides of the power, which increases our damage by 20%, but also increases the damage we receive. But it's all about the damage you dish, baby. Long range weapon damage by 30%. We're gonna grab this guy, which increases our anomaly power by 4% for each of these nodes. So there's 3 of these nodes, so that means we get 12% extra anomaly power, which is, a nice little boost. This guy, huge for the blighted rounds. Increase magazine size by 50%. That's more blighted bullets, more chances to refresh the mags. Huge. Enemies afflicted with toxic receive 15% more damage. Again, huge. We had, what is this? We had a 10% back here and a 15% here. Again, this is why I also like the blighted turret. Because when your blighted rounds aren't up, you're still inflicting toxic on enemies and therefore still reaping the benefits of this 25% extra damage. And last but not least, the empowering antenna. Activating decay increases weapon damage for you and your allies by 40% for 10 seconds. Again, another reason to run the blighted turret. Because the cooldown is so low on the blighted turret, you can literally throw one every 10 seconds and constantly have that 40% increased weapon damage for you and your teammates. That's pretty much it for the build. I'll upload later today a run through of me doing one of these, I don't know, maybe 2 of these, just solo with this build. I have 3-starred or gold, whatever, gold 3-starred all of these pretty much with this build, even after the nerf. The only ones that I'd have a little trouble, there's 2 I think that I had trouble with, one of them being Boomtown. Just the time nerf is ridiculous. And there's one other one I forget. But again, very viable solo. Also very viable as a team with this build. So that's going to be it. I'm going to go live now on Twitch. If you are not following my Twitch and you liked the content, make sure you head on over there, twitch.tv/limetree. Also, if this video helped you out at all, if you're going to use the build, let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, yada yada. Going to be doing some more Outriders videos as well. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time.